What an idiot. Anyway. God, I hope they come soon. So I've got a New Motion charge card, and I'm going to try and go to the IONITY chargers, 3 of which are working apparently, and I'm going to see if I can get the mythical 77 kilowatts of charging, and I'm then going to do the same route with a roof box installed, and I'm going to see what the difference is with efficiency. So I've got 52 miles on the GOM, 19% battery, and I think so I should get there, and it's 20 degrees outside, so I should get there with low enough battery to try and it should ramp up to 77, I think. We'll see what happens. It will probably break or something, knowing my luck, but 3rd time lucky. All right, let's see how it goes. Just the chair. Oh. Right, I'm in eco mode. I'm on level 1 regen, which is kind of the standard mode that it's the standard regen that eco mode gives you, unless you change it in the settings. I have air conditioning on, I think. Yeah, air conditioning on, 18.5 degrees, but on the lowest fan setting. So let's see what happens. So, Siri, no. Siri sent me the wrong way. And now I've got charge immediately, power limited. 3% battery, 7 miles range. This is a proper nightmare. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to call the recovery services. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. Oh, I missed the turning. Missed the turning. Damn it. This is the first time I've ever been stuck on a motorway before. And it's my own damn fault, or is it Apple Maps? I'm gonna blame Apple Maps. I missed the turning. I'm also going to blame the Kia because it said it had like 20, I wasn't filming at the time, it said it had about 20 miles of range. So I would have had just enough range probably to loop back, and then suddenly it went down to 4. So that's a worry. Anyway, I'm just waiting for the breakdown people now. I've now been waiting 1 hour 20 minutes. 1 hour 20 minutes. Good Lord. At least it's not raining. It's such a ridiculous situation. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Luckily the Niro doesn't look like an electric car, really, you know? Otherwise everyone would just be driving past saying, ha ha ha, what an idiot, ha ha ha. Anyway. God, I hope they come soon. I need to pee. So he's now going to load the car onto the breakdown truck at the back. I had to tell him how to use it. It's the first time he's seen, I think it's the first time he's seen an electric car. That can't be right, can it? Anyway. And then he's going to take me to a charger, but it's not going to be the IONITY one because I missed the turning, and then he would have to turn around the motorway, get back and everything. So, oh God, I just want to go home. So finally I'm charging.
and I'm only getting 7.3 kilowatts at the moment. I'm hoping that ramps up. Otherwise, I'm going to be here for ages before I can get back home. Anyway, so this charger is Charge Your Car and Charge Master, which has the Polar logo, because I thought you could use Polar. Look, it's very confusing. It's very confusing. We've got Charge Master, which is now owned by BP, but it's BP Charge Master, but Polar is all part of the same kind of company. So in theory, I should have been able to use the Polar app on this, but that didn't work. It didn't show the point. The point wasn't listed. So I had to use the Charge Your Car app, which is unbelievably awful. It kept saying the internet is not here and all the rest of it. And currently it's so I've got 7 miles of range, it says, left, 3% battery. But I mean, to get back to Canterbury, how long to get back to Canterbury then? So I'm looking at like 17 miles to get back to Canterbury. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be here for an hour, aren't I? So what's the moral of this story then? The moral is that well, firstly, I was using Apple Maps, and I'm sure it didn't tell me to go left to the services. One moral: don't use Apple Maps. Secondly, don't trust the GOM too much. I've kind of been lulled into a false sense of security with this car because it's so good. The range is so good, and it's pretty accurate, really, the GOM. But that was frightening, just how quick it dropped. And I didn't film it, annoyingly, but yes, it went from. It said I had like 20 miles range, and then it just dropped down to 4, which was yeah, a bit frightening, really, when you're on the motorway. And what's the third moral of the story? Always bring some food with you, because now I'm starving and I don't think there's anything in this place I'm at. And also, right, so I've got this New Motion charge card. Well, I'm going to get one for Polar, and I'm going to get one for Charge Your Car as well, just to have them in the car, because relying on apps is also pretty awful, especially if they're like Charge Your Car, because that app is absolutely dreadful. Well, I wanted this video to be about the motorway efficiency. Well, I got 3.8. So even though I didn't get to the IONITY charger, when I get the roof box installed, I'll try it again, and I'll see what I get then, see how it affects it. And that was doing about 74 miles an hour on the motorway. And I know I'm going to get a comment saying, well, why were you driving so fast when you didn't have enough range? Well, I thought I did have enough range, but you know, you've got to account for stupidity like me missing the turning, because I just didn't allow enough buffer, really, did I? Well, what am I on? I've got 12 miles of range now, 5% battery. So the range says 32 miles, and it's 14 miles back home. So obviously I can't rely on the range too much, but given that the range is calculated after the motorway driving, the range will actually be better than that in theory. As for the 7.3 kilowatts, I'm a bit stupid, because even though this charger is a 22 kilowatt one, it's AC. And this paragraph here. This paragraph here shows that it's got a 7.2 kilowatt onboard charger. So even if it's connected to a fast charger, above 7.2, the e-Niro will only be able to charge at 7.2. So I'm getting 7.3, so I should count myself lucky. The other strange thing that I've found out is that if you plug your phone into the car, it uses the car's GPS instead of its own, which I didn't know. Maybe that's just a CarPlay thing or something. The problem is that the GPS at the moment on the car it still thinks I'm on the motorway, when actually I'm there. So maybe the GPS will update once I start driving. So I worked out how to stop the charge from Charge Your Car's app, but now I can't get the charge cable out of the Kia. Right then. What do we do now? Right, the trick was turning off the car, and then I could get the cable out. Oh God, right. Time to go home, finally. Right. We're going to try that again. We're going to go to Maidstone. Going to go to Maidstone Services. This time I've got 104 miles on the GOM and 38% battery. So this time it's going to be fine. No breaking down today, and we'll see what kind of efficiency we get with the roof box. I'll do the same thing, air conditioning on, 18.5 degrees on the lowest fan speed, eco mode. Let's see what happens. So I'm cruising at 74 miles an hour, as I did yesterday, and there's definite wind whistling noise from the roof box, which I was expecting, but it's not too bad, I guess. You wouldn't be able to hear it on there probably, but yeah, there's definitely whistling. It's 21 degrees outside, and it's pretty good weather. It's not really very windy. It's 26 miles of motorway driving to get to the services, and I've got 93 on the GOM, so I really hope I'll be alright this time. And I haven't checked if IONITY is working, so yeah, that's a stupid thing, isn't it? I should have done that anyway. So something about yesterday, yesterday's incident is that I've really become much more nervous driving this car than I used to be. I suppose that's to be expected, but I mean, I really should be fine. 82 miles on the GOM at the moment, but my efficiency is only 3.4 with the roof box on at the moment. We'll see how it is after even more motorway driving, because I think that might go down even further. But one of the silly things is that you can't see the battery level on the display in front of you. You have the efficiency and the drive information, things like that, how many minutes you've been driving, all the rest of it, a compass, but not actually the battery. You've got to click the EV button to see the battery. And I think that's one of the problems that I had yesterday, is that perhaps if I'd seen the battery, I wouldn't have been relying on the GOM so much. And yes, the GOM did drop down from 20 something down to 4 so quickly, it was scary. Just as I missed the turning. Really, I'm going to be having nightmares about that, I think. Anyway, 18 minutes to go, 80 miles on the GOM, so 30% battery, so I really should be fine. Okay, right, I'm determined not to miss the turning for the services this time. Now, I've got a sneaking suspicion that yesterday, obviously yesterday I was a bit, what's the word? Freaked out, I think. I was a bit freaked out, and
I don't remember what Apple Maps was telling me, but I think it didn't tell me to take the turning, so I'm going to see if it does this time. So there's a sign in front, Maidstone Services. That's the one I must have hammered past yesterday like a fool. Services, okay. And yet, Apple Maps did not say anything. So also my fault for being too reliant on it, but it should have said turn left. And now it says rerouting. Yeah, you can't see this, I know, sorry, but it says reroute. Apple Maps is awful. Awful. Services this way, yes. I'm going to make a complaint to Tim Cook. Okay, IONITY, here we are. Surely the screens aren't off. The screen's off? Oh. Anyway, well, let's just say, look, I've got here with 65 miles left on the GOM, 24% battery, and it's 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour efficiency. Yeah, so the chargers aren't working, and I just met a very lovely lady from Wales who also has a Niro, and she just turned up, and yeah, she checked on her app, and no, IONITY isn't working. So I was thinking, well, it's fine, if IONITY is not working, it's fine, I'll go to e-Tricity. But they just have one CCS charger, and the lady I just spoke to is going to be getting that now, isn't she? So I obviously, well, hopefully I've got enough to get back. But get back home. Oh, I never have very much luck, do I, IONITY? So, yeah. Well, anyway, I guess this is the end of the video. So, what should I say about efficiency of the roof box? Well, the roof, it may say 3.5. I'm saying 3.6, but that's only because there's a big hill just before I got here, and I think that affects it a little bit. So I would say it went down as low as 3.3 at one point. So bear that in mind if you get a roof box. It really does hit your efficiency pretty badly. Okay, right, well, I guess I'll go home now and hope I don't get stuck again. So after the past couple of days, I feel we just need to recap on what we have learned. And I think we've learned the following things. Firstly, Apple Maps is rubbish. Well, okay, it's very good most of the time, but if it fails in the way it did yesterday for me, as in not telling me when to turn for the services, then that's not so good. Of course, I'm also rubbish because I should have been looking at the signs. In fact, I was probably too busy worried about the range, and probably too busy filming myself. So bad on me as well. What else have we learned? We've learned that charge your car has got an awful app, and really I should have an RFID card like this. We've also learned that the recovery services people will take you to a slow charger instead of a rapid. My fault, I probably should have been more forceful about it, so maybe that's on me as well. Also my fault, because I can charge at home every single day, and yet I didn't leave the car charged enough yesterday, which is obviously why I broke down. But I was trying to get to the motorway with a low charge, trying to get to IONITY, sorry, with a low charge to see how it would ramp up to 77 kilowatts. So my fault for being an idiot. We've learned that IONITY is extremely unreliable, at least the one in Maidstone. Hopefully the lady that I saw is charging okay on CCS with e-Tricity, because e-Tricity is also very unreliable. So
if it was a situation where neither of us had enough charge, we would then be fighting over the AC Type 2 socket, which is on Ecotricity. It has the Zoe logo on it, and then we'd be kind of sat there for ages with 7 kilowatts, which is obviously rubbish. I'm sure we've learned other things as well. The roof box. Well, this roof box I think is pretty good. It's not quite as noisy as I was expecting, but you do have to accept that you're going to be, worst case scenario, you're looking at 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. I'll do the kilometer conversion. I'll stick that on the screen somewhere. So bear that in mind if you're going on a trip somewhere. So I think we've learned quite a few things, but certainly the charger infrastructure is still just rubbish. It's still rubbish. We need more chargers. And motorways are a nightmare. God, if you take the wrong exit, you're screwed. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe and press the little bell icon so you get notified when I do the next video. Bye for now.